Let's start with my name. It's Dash. Yeah, Dash. D-A-S-H. My dad believed I would be a fast runner, or hoped I would. But also, I think my mom named me that way before I was born, because she hoped that it wouldn't take very long to have me. They both got it wrong. I'm not a fast runner. And my mom actually set a record for hours in labor at the hospital where I was born almost 13 years ago. So I never set any records for running the 100-yard dash, but I did have a hand in setting the record for the most hours it took for a mom to have her kid. And that record still stands. I don't know if I didn't want to come out or if I just really liked where I was. It's a weird thing. That idea for 9 months, we live inside a mom and get really cozy and really comfy and just really make ourselves at home. While on the outside, your mom is miserable. Her body is blowing up like the tires on a semi-truck. Thinking about it now, I guess it's a complicated relationship from the very beginning. And then you're born, and your parents are sleep deprived, and you're, I don't know, love deprived? Is that what a little baby wants? Love. More love. Can't get enough love. Or maybe he just wants to go back to where everything was kind of perfect. Back to the womb. I didn't mean to get stuck on being a baby. What I meant to get on about was not wanting to come out. I don't know what year you're living in. I can't really see you because the lights up here are super bright and blinding. But here where I am, it's 1973. And it's summer. It's August. And I'm 12, going on 13. And I'm super horny all the time. But I don't really have a name for that when I'm talking to grown-ups, because it's just this feeling that's really kind of good and kind of scary and makes me feel kind of bad, but in a really good way, which is scary. And all right, so I'm just going to get right to it and say it. I'm in gym class. I'm in the 7th grade, and it's the first time I ever ejaculated. There's this big rope, see, that hangs from the ceiling of our gymnasium, which all of us have to climb, or try to climb in the case of some of the guys who are too out of shape, or just not very coordinated. I've always been on the smaller side, but I'm not skinny. I'm just scrappy. Anyways, I don't have any trouble climbing that rope. I just shimmy my way up, bend up, bend up. But not only do you have to climb all the way to the top, but then you have to slap the ceiling with your hand. It doesn't count unless you slap the ceiling with your hand. And then you climb back down the rope. All the while, our teacher, who's also our coach, let's just call him Coach. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. I've always wanted to say that, even though no one in my story is particularly innocent. So, Coach is standing there in his short shorts and a stopwatch, and he's timing all of us from the second he yells go to the second we get back down to the floor. Holy shit. I just realized that if you add an O to go, it becomes goo, which is funny since I'm telling you about the first time I ejaculated. Anyway, Coach is there with his stopwatch, but I honestly don't remember my time. What I do remember is Coach's short shorts and his muscular, hairy legs. Blonde hair that shimmers like an inappropriate invitation. And now it's my turn to climb the rope. Those hairy legs have me hypnotized until I hear him yelling, "Dash, Dash, you're up!" Reluctantly, I come out of my dream where I'm married to Coach, and we live together in New York in a loft painted all white. and spent our summers on Martha's Vineyard with the Kennedys and our dog named Diana Ross. But now I'm back in the gymnasium that smells like old socks and coach is yelling goo. I mean, go. And I'm climbing that rope so fast that even a couple of the bullies are in awe of me. It's an incredible feeling. That combination of being 12 years old, being really good at climbing that rope, and being hypnotized by Coach's blonde, hairy legs. Well, I have an instant boner, and in seconds, I ejaculated all over my gym shorts. So then it's the smell of sweat, and my cum, and whatever else drips from your body after you've shot a load like that in front of a bunch of other horny middle school boys. The whole thing was head spinning. I mean, okay, it was kind of embarrassing, but also kind of amazing. Now, here's where things get weird. Finally living up to my name, Dash, I climbed that rope really fast, and I slapped that ceiling with my hand again and again and again, and I am feeling like I am king of the world. I look down at everybody cheering, and I really like where I am. Kind of like before I was born when I was hanging out inside my mom. I just like it. I like being up here. I like how it feels and how things look from the ceiling of the gymnasium looking down at the world. And suddenly I realize I don't want to come down. I mean, I'm 12 years old and I'm thinking, what if this is it? What if this is as good as it gets? What if this is the best moment of my life? And also, I mean, since I can't see you sitting out there, and since I'm also being crazy honest, I have cum all over my shorts, and I have no clue how I'm going to hide it or explain it. As long as I stay up here on top of the world, I am untouchable. I've already had some crazy dreams about boys I liked, and boys I liked that I didn't even know I liked. I have posters hanging in my room of football and basketball and baseball players, pop singers and TV stars, and even one of Jesus wearing bell bottoms and a necklace of puka shells. Oh, it's around the time that Jesus Christ Superstar scandalized the Methodists, when some of us kids in the youth choir wanted to sing some of those songs in church. Sorry, I'm getting off track again. I was talking about some of those crazy dreams that I've been having about boys. That's the thing about dreams. Anything goes. No one's there to change the channel or yell at you for saying something or doing something. And so it just happens, you know, in your dreams. You just do what you really want to do. And what I really want to do is have crazy sex with John Ransom, who is a year older than me and the star of everything. Wait, when I say crazy sex, I don't really know what I mean because it's 1973 and I haven't had crazy sex yet. Or any sex yet. I just had these dreams. And I don't know if ejaculating when you're climbing a rope in gym class counts as sex because what would that mean? That I had sex with a rope? Maybe that qualifies as crazy sex, but I just don't know. You hear people say stuff, grown-ups, older kids even. You hear them talk about sex and they make it seem so like it's a sport, something you're supposed to win. But we don't have sex teams that play each other. There are no Super Bowls for sex, at least none that I've heard of anyway. Though I will admit that sometimes I watch football on TV and I get that funny feeling inside and I wonder what some of those guys look like without all the pads on. Sorry, I'm 12 years old. I'm easily distracted. So I guess this is probably a good time for you to meet John Ransom.
Yeah, I was there that day in the gymnasium. They had combined 7th and 8th grade gym class. So all the boys were in one class. Some things to know about me before I tell you about that day in 1973. In a few years, I'm gonna be star of the high school football team. And of course, I'll be homecoming king. I'll also start on the varsity basketball team as a freshman, which is almost unheard of. And some of the seniors, it pisses off some of the seniors who then quit the team. And then I'll set school records for running the mile. I was pretty good at almost anything I did. And all that time, I'm dating plenty of girls, no trouble in that department. But secretly, I might have liked boys a little bit. No, I guess I knew I liked boys, but I knew that boys like me couldn't like boys. So it was my secret. And I didn't really know about Dash. No, that he had the same secret. I mean, thinking about it now, I probably should have known it, but I just didn't think about it then. Couldn't risk it.
I'm still up here on top of the world thinking about sex. I mean, if sex turns out to be as good as it is in my dreams, then it is a wonderful life. Oh, but then again, what if it isn't? What if sex doesn't live up to how I imagine it? Uh-oh. What if I have a better imagination than whoever invented sex in the first place? Oh, I don't want to think about that. Think about something else. Think about something else. Think about something else. My dog ran away. My dog ran away. My dog ran away. My dog ran away. Okay. If I'm being crazy honest, then I admit that taking a shower with a bunch of other naked boys after gym class is hell and torture, and also the best part of the day. I mean, this is a real question. Do you have any idea how many different body types there are? And how different guys look without any clothes? I'm super careful not to stare. That wouldn't be cool. But even if you're not looking, you're still looking because there are naked guys everywhere you look. Oh, my dog ran away. My dog ran away. My dog ran away. My dog ran away. But in the shower, J.J. Simpson has the biggest one. Oh, my dog ran away. My dog ran away. My dog ran away. My dog ran away. I mean, J.J. Simpson, it's big. It's big. And he's not even hard. My grandpa's dying. My grandpa's dying. My grandpa's dying. It's just big. I'm not even sure what I'd do with it, but every time I see it, I figure if I get the chance, I'll know what to do. But what if I don't? How do you learn these things? Who's going to teach me? Will anyone ever want to kiss me? I'm going to stay up here for as long as I can.
So when I graduate high school, I know I have to move as far away as possible if I'm going to be able to be myself. So I ended up going to college in California. And after that, after college, I can't wait to move to San Francisco. That was 1981. Some timing, huh? Now, some of you probably already know where this is going. Oh, in San Francisco, I'm finally able to be myself, to come out, to be out. And then everybody starts dying. Everybody. Everybody you loved. Everybody you might have loved. Everybody just dies. I died too. AIDS, or the gay cancer, which is what they call it in the early days when being HIV positive is basically a death sentence. So you have the advantage of knowing how I died before I do. But that day in 1973, I do remember being in the gym and seeing Dash at the top of that rope and him not coming down. And to be honest, I think it's kind of cool. You know, I understand what he's doing. I kind of wish it was me up there. Well, here's Coach's version of what happened that day.
I haven't been a coach very long. I'm just a few years out of college, a young guy who's just always wanted to be a coach. But a coach also has to teach. So I teach PE and driver's ed and geography. I don't know jack shit about geography, but I like maps, and that's the class they need me to teach. So teaching PE is more like coaching, so it comes easy. But 7th and 8th grade boys, it's a pretty squirrely age. And when I don't find them amusing, they drive me fucking nuts. Get your gym shorts off your freaking head and stay away from the fire alarm.
Here's something else I got to throw in the mix. It's the backdrop, the context, you know? This is August 1973. School has just started, which is why all this happened in 7th grade gym class. But also, the president resigned about a week ago. President Richard Milhouse Nixon. He just quit. He resigned, took off in a helicopter. There's been all this stuff going on about this thing called Watergate. And my parents talk about it with a pained look on their faces like they're having bad gas. My mom will say, why'd he do it? Why'd he lie about doing it? Why'd he ask others to lie about doing it? And my dad will say, oh, I told you not to vote for him. Anyone could tell he's not to be trusted. And then my mom will yell something like, no politics at the dinner table. And my dad will look at me and shrug. It's also around one of those dinners that I announced to my parents that if the Vietnam War keeps going and I get drafted when I'm 18, then I am moving to Sweden. My dad nods like he understands, but my mom bursts out crying and says something about how wrong it is that a kid even has to think about such things. After that, my dad and I secretly meet in my treehouse and try to learn how to speak Swedish. We use a cassette that he ordered in the mail, but learning Swedish is impossible. So my dad and I end up talking about other things. Oh, I almost tell him about this dream that I had last night. A dream about a boy. But I stop myself. I'm too afraid to tell the truth. I really wish I did know Swedish so that I could tell him about my dream in Swedish. Years from now, when I'm older than my dad was back when we'd hang out in my treehouse, years from now, I wonder if things would have been different if I'd had the courage to tell him about that dream, about my feelings for boys.
Way to go, Dash! The day when that kid Dash climbed the rope, I don't know what got into him. At first, it was impressive. He has the fastest time, and I yell up to him, way to go, Dash! But then, he won't come down. And after trying everything I can think of, that's when I have to call the fire department.
Yeah, that was one of the more unusual calls I've gotten in my 35 years in the department. I mean, I've had my fair share of getting cats and balloons out of trees, stuff like that, but Dash had climbed to the top of a rope and he wouldn't come down. So when the coach calls me and tells me what's going on, I think it's a joke. You know, I know a prank call when I hear one, so I hang up on the guy. But he calls me back and convinces me that it's for real. And can the fire department come down to the gymnasium and get this kid off the ceiling? I decide not to use the siren when we drive to the school because I didn't want the town to panic, seeing that we were driving to the school. Me and a couple of guys drive over there. We take out one of our big ladders off the truck and we take it into the gymnasium. Now, I grew up in this town. I went to this school. I even climbed that same rope. So I know the place pretty well. But when I walked into that gym, it was almost comical. All these skinny boys looking up at Dash, just hanging out at the top of a rope. I know Dash's mom and dad from church, so he waves at me. Not a smart ass wave, a friendly one. After we figure out how to get a ladder up there, I climb to the top. So now I am face to face with Dash. Oh. Hey, Dash.
Hey, Joe.
In kind of a pickle, aren't you?
I guess so.
What are you doing up here?
I like it up here. I just like it.
Are you afraid to come down?
No.
All right, no problem. But you know you can't stay up here, right? Gym class is almost over. You're probably in trouble anyway. Better to man up and cut your losses, huh?
Joe,
Yeah.
do you speak Swedish?
No.
Oh,
Why did you ask me that?
I'm looking for someone to teach me Swedish.
Ah. If I hear of anybody, I'll let you know.
That would be great. Oh, sorry you had to come up here like this.
It's all in a day's work, kid.
But what a day.
Yeah, huh? You sure you're okay?
I don't know.
All right. How about I climb over to the rope? We'll go down together. You up for that?
Maybe.
All right. Now, here. Just put your arms around my neck and just hold on. I won't let you fall. We'll go slow. I'm right here, buddy.
Go.
Hold on.
I mean, come on. A fireman? Fireman Joe? Ugh. A fantasy is born that will come in handy for years and years. He hasn't shaved, and my cheek brushes against his stubble, and just about every nerve in my body goes nuts. I almost ejaculate again. His breath smells like juicy fruit gum. And he's got on some aftershave. No idea what it's called. But for the rest of my life, anytime I smell anything like it, I am right back in Fireman Joe's arms.
Just put your arms around my neck. Hold on. I won't let you fall. We'll go slow. I am right here, buddy.
Of course, I get in trouble, and I'm sent to the principal's office, where I argue that I'm less guilty than Richard Nixon, and what kind of an example is he setting for kids like me anyway? But they still give me detention for 3 days. My parents pretend to be mortified, but mostly I know that they're more mystified. For the first time, they realize I'm growing up and that I have a whole world going on inside my head that they will never understand. Later on in my treehouse, when my dad and I are still pretending to learn Swedish, he tells me that he thinks that it was cool that I climbed that rope and I wouldn't come down. he actually cried and told me that he felt that way too sometimes. Sometimes you just don't want to come down. You just want to stay above it all. It feels funny watching my dad cry, but years later, I think I understand what he meant. Sometimes life gets so crazy. Sometimes you just want to climb a rope and not come down. Just put your arms around my neck. I won't let you fall. We'll go slow. I'm right here, buddy.